So here's the truth. I'm still terrified of what people think. If I don't go outside in the hat, I'm like, who am I? It's weird. What would people think if I didn't wear the hat? So here's my hot take. I think professionalism is gonna die. People try to copy too effectively to get the result. It filters them out of the entire content. We're all in like a simulation. None of this makes sense. There are no rules. We're all just apes putting on clothes, pretending to be in a society.
I'm insane.
Somebody told me this is the way to do it. Yeah, everyone has their way of doing it. So do you. Do that instead.
We got Zachary here, who is the guy that wore a top hat for 15 years straight. Crazy. The only question I had when I just met you, why?
Because my freshman year of high school and my friend, who I'd known since kindergarten and had been living in Colorado with me all our lives, had come to school speaking in a flawless British accent that he had practiced over the summer. He kept this up for a year and a half, and some people still believe that he was from England. But 6 months in, I could tell that it was like working for him. He'd gotten a girlfriend, making friends with people, and people noticed him. And he had like this thing. And I was like, I need a thing. And I'd always been drawn towards hats. I'd seen people wearing fedoras, but I didn't want to be associated with nice guy fedora culture at the time. And so I went one step further and picked a top hat, potentially influenced by his British accent.
And I can very relate to it. I was going to the camps like every year practically. And there was this parties like in the camp. So there was a camp, like which is 3 weeks, and then after the camp we were meeting up once a year again to party, and this was like for 3 days, just to have a great experience. And so once I went on this party, and I didn't know much people there. I went with some people that I know, and I thought, what if I just say to everybody that I'm an international student, and I was talking only in English, and that I came from the same company, right? But from like internationally, not from Poland. And so I very much polarized people to the highest potential, because there was people that didn't know English, that like didn't understand me at all, but there was people that were so curious, why am I the only one who speaks the different language, and like, who is this guy? Why is he talking to him in English? Like, what's going on? Everybody knows each other. Like, and people that knew each other didn't, for some reason, they didn't talk to them. They didn't tell them that I'm just their friend, that I'm from Poland.
So you talk about as the head.
It became like a filter for you. So does it
Yes.
scare the wrong people away before they even talk to you?
Maybe. This is something new that I'm investigating. So I know there's a filter. I know it's filtering, but I'm not entirely sure I know how or why it's filtering and who it's filtering. Because I've mostly been catering towards the kinds of connections that I want to make, and it's entirely possible it is filtering out too many people. I definitely lean far on the authenticity, putting yourself out there, being weird scale. And I also tend to attract and interact with slightly weirder, strange individuals. Whereas, the professional business people look at me funny. And I do work at a corporate IT job and do work for the government. And I wore this to work today. And like, I'm actually going to a meet and greet with people later today. And it's just, there's like suits people there. And then I just like, shake their hand and they're like, yep, it's funny. So it's entirely possible, but it's like, so here's my hot take. I think professionalism is gonna die in the age of AI, and then in the collapse of traditional business.
I mean, it's already kind of dying here, right? It's already not, if you compare it 40 years ago, it was something that you needed to do to go to the job. Like I'm doing it right now because like it makes me different. Like,
sure,
it's switched actually. So not being from
actually, putting on the suit now will differentiate you, and that can be a move, right?
Exactly.
If that works for you, do it, right?
What do you think people get wrong about being unique after your 15 years experience?
They expect to just find their identity, and then it's like, that's it. And often that's actually a big mistake people make, is they'll be like, oh, I'm going to take this identity off the shelf. I'm going to be like the Texas identity, or like you're a New Yorker, or like I'm this this cook, or I'm like a sports fan, and they just like adopt that as their identity, right? Wholesale, and they're just like, you've seen like 100 of them. When you do that, you actually just sort of blend into the crowd. What I found to be the most effective strategy if you want a unique identity, but also an authentic one, is to find 3 to 5 pieces from different ones that you like and just put them together.
Maybe people just think, oh, you just need to pick the hat. Just put the hat on and that's your new identity. Congratulations. But it's pillars, right?
It is.
It's not just.
I think one of the key pieces is there is a difference between putting on the hat and being able to wear the hat. Having worn the hat for 15 years, it has like molded itself into my identity and personality, right?
Yeah.
And so I flow with it, and I like someone else can take my hat and put it on, and it won't be quite right. And admittedly, when I first put on my hat, it wasn't quite right. It took a couple years and a few hats to really get it right. And then when I got my wife, she really put my style together, and then it was like, oh, look, this is what you were actually trying to do. So sometimes you need some help.
Yeah.
But it is pieces that put it together, and the cohesion of different unique pieces together that make a style. Oh, and the way to find those, try things on that you see other people like. Oh, look, I like that, what that person is doing. Try it on. If you continue to like it when you like doing it yourself, keep it. But if you don't like it, toss it and keep trying. One, I enjoy it. It truly just brings me joy. And the second part is it's just a little bit absurd. It's truly crazy. Yeah, I'm a little bit insane. Yeah, I'm a bit of a Mad Hatter. It's true. Because we're all in like a simulation. None of this makes sense. There are no rules. We're all just apes putting on clothes, pretending to be in a society. So I like poking fun at that.
Nice. Clip farming. I like that replace. Very.
I'm insane.
Your head creates conversations. YouTube
Yeah.
thumbnails are like this. They're the way to create an interest in the video.
How do you think you can be like authentic on YouTube? How can you differentiate yourself while it's being true to your, while it's not being a copycat?
You can start by copying, because admittedly, if you're starting out, and like myself, I don't know what I'm doing on YouTube. So I'm copying what other people are doing to learn how to do YouTube, but then continue to iterate. And while you're doing that, change and be like, instead of this, what he did, I remember from that last video, I liked doing something else. Or I saw in this other video something that, like an editing style that I liked. I wanted to put that in there. And like copying a single person is plagiarism.
Yeah.
Copying a bunch of people is research. And so just copy enough people that it looks like research. And you coalescing the pieces you like into your stuff will just become your style. You almost don't have to if you just don't censor yourself. And that, I think, is the hardest part, because they're like, oh no, what do people think if I don't do it the right way? What, this is the way I'm supposed to do it? Somebody told me this is the way to do it. It's like, yeah, everyone has their way of doing it. So do you. Do that instead.
Gotcha. Okay, last question though. You said that you're a headman, right? That's your identity. That became you. You don't need to prove it to anyone. If anyone would like try to, you are not that guy. Like convince me that you're a headman. I don't want to convince you. Like why would I convince you, right? How do we get the same level of confidence with our branding on YouTube?
So what I'm learning is you just kind of gotta do it for a while. At the start, I was like, I have no idea I don't actually think I'm that authentic. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I just did it over and over for a while. And I like researched it, looked into it, practiced it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I've got this amount of evidence from the past that actually applies here. And then I talked about it. And then as I continued to talk about it, I realized, oh, I'm not actually half bad about this. And usually if we look back onto things that were like, here's my question for people if you want to like start digging into where can I find like a piece of identity, a piece that I want to bring forward, something that I can put into my branding? It's like, what do you keep coming back to? And what are you constantly interested in that you're surprised other people aren't constantly thinking about? Because those are often the things that just we'd be like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing authenticity for a very long time, but when I look back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of have been doing that, and then just leaning into that. And so finding those things, leaning into them, and then building evidence. That's the way to build confidence, is to do it a couple of times terribly, really scared. The first one is always the hardest, and then repeat until it feels normal.